Oh, forgot me my eyeball.
Batu. Let's do the Lord's work here. Hi, Batu. All right. Yeah. Hey, bros, what's going on? Batu. Batu. What's going on in the hood? What up, what up, what up? What's going on? Hi, Batu. All right, all right, all right, all right. Who do we got in here today? Yo, Odie, what up, baby? Yeah, the market's got a monster cock move. It does this kind of fugazi every time. It's gonna be it's gonna be a bitch of a day, I think. Oh, JD, that just means like in our language, native language, it just means my sweet little boy. Yeah, it's just like a little something something that parents call their kids. All right, let's get to work, people. Hey, A-Rod, what's up? All right, let's go do what we do, which is the do. Hey, look, today maybe just like a monster waste of time. Maybe. I would say you stay away from the macro plays today. You're up 2% in the market. There's not going to be my history of these kind of gap days is loss. Typically loss if you buy stocks and you chase them up. So whenever you get these kind of big gap days, there's always some pullback at some point, and that's what you have to wait for. Like you can't sit there and chase breakouts on a day where the market gaps up 2%. So if you look, the ATR on the QQQs is 8.68. So you have an 8.68 ATR. Yet you're gapping up 9.8 right at the open. So you've exceeded the ATR plus a point, give or take. And so 10%. So now you're in a rare territory. So there's two things that typically will happen when you get into this kind of gap. People will chase breakouts, but the market kind of just grinds, and so every breakout gets stuffed, and then like you end up selling on support, and then it goes. You chase the breakout, and then it pulls back, and so we call that the spin cycle of despair. So you don't want to do that. At some point, the market will pull. It'll come back and it'll retest yesterday's high. It'll do something where you're kind of you don't fade the whole gap, but you fade a third of it. 2/3 of it, whatever it might be, half of it. You don't necessarily know, but usually like a third or so is a good spot. And then you've got one shot on a big gap update. You get one shot to get your entries in. So why the day is tricky is though, if you chase breakouts, they don't work. But if you try to short, the market's too strong and you get steamrolled. So you have two things going that don't match. And so what you need to do, number one, is not focus, especially at the open, on macro plays. What macro plays are just stocks that follow the general market, right? So these are stocks without specific catalysts, without earnings, without PRs, right? These would be your general macro play. For example, right, like a Nvidia would be a macro play, right? Apple would be a macro play. So basically, if the market goes, they'll go in absence of PR, right? If they have upgrades or something like that, it's a little bit different, but in absence of PR. So just be kind of mindful of that. Now let's look at some individual setups. I do think you still want to probably stay away from the big daddy stocks, your Nvidias, your Googles and stuff like that, and focus a little bit on, some of the more mid-cappy names. You can see here you got a 2% gap in the IWM. You got 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 days, 6 days it's been up. Now you're testing into this kind of highs here, but you're really extended into it. And so this is like, you cannot, right, chase up a market that's up like 8 days in a row into resistance, right? At some point, resistance resists. So what you need is a little bit of a pull. And you can see it's already doing that. It's pulled back 2 points. It'll probably rug a little bit more at some point at the open. And then you're going to get yourself a little hootenanny. So just kind of be mindful of all those things. You know, the SPY itself. Hey, buddy. Hold on here. Hey, buddy. It looks like you got yourself in a little pickle. What? What? You guys say hi to everybody? I'm a troublemaker. Daddy just found me rolling over all over. Say hi to everybody. My butt. I love you, buddy. Okay. So going back. So we don't want to chase this thing up. Let it pull. Oh, there's mommy. We don't want to chase this thing, but let it pull. Now let's take a look at the earnings plays. There's not going to be many earnings plays, but let's see if we can find a couple PR plays, upgrades, downgrades, all of this kind of thing. This will be, you know, we want something with a little bit of a catalyst. I think that'll be important on a day like today because they're going to kind of move independently to what's happening in the general market. Oh, hey, Sugar. He had rolled mini rolls. Oh, look at that. Look at that gift for Dad. We'll call that one party foul. Hey, buddy, that milk, people pay for that milk. It raises testosterone. Instead of spitting it out, let me take some of that to the gym bros. We get thousands for it. Thousands, buddy. Can't be spitting that out. Now, look. Now, let's roll. Let's see if we find ourselves any PRs. He is, JD. He is. TBIO. You got 168% move. Guys, there's a little hootenanny every day on some stock that's doing this at some point. I think, yesterday was that PRTG. You're getting one every day. So if you like small cap names, like you can trade them. The thing is you got to hit them at the open, not the first range break, but usually like the first pullback or something like that. And, you play for like 10 candles of glory or 4 candles of glory. Not even 10 candles, right? 3 to 4 candles of glory. And then just remember they just die down, right? But they are happening like that every day currently. Not my particular flavor, but I would not judge. Look at this, EWTX. This is up our alley probably, all right? Boom, 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 boom. Up pre-market after results show ED is well tolerated in 2 trials. Now that sounds a little bit better for us. You got 80 million share flow. It's a $2 billion company. You got a breakout here into, a multi-year range. Going back to about 2021. That's pretty solid. And you're already up. You got 1 million shares in volumes. That's probably right up our alley. I'd keep that. I would definitely keep that. So let's add this EWTX to the list. We got NXDF junk. Hey, GLMD. This is right. Every day one of these is happening, guys. Every day one of these is happening. You can, if you're, if you want to play into this game, go for it. Just be a little bit mindful. All right? Just be a little bit mindful that they're gonna round trip at some point, and then you're foobarred, right? So as long as you're playing them when the MAs are kind of curling up, and so what you want to do is like, right? See, I got the shaded area between the 9 and 20. Right? So as long as your bone zone is green, you can keep trading them until you get probably about into these kind of parabolics. And then when it switches and the bone zone's right red, easy enough. Like the trend is over. You don't got to do anything. So it's just like a simple way to trade those kind of things without having to, without having to do anything too crazy. Hey, Batsu. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Somebody's got a big talker today. dun, 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 dun. Hey, ETHU. This is a 2x Ether, 2x Ether ETF. Look, you've got a little bit of a run in cryptos now. I think Ethereum itself was, it's probably come up about a little bit under 200 points. This is probably like, see something like this. If you like to be a little bit more speculation, but not necessarily small cap, but it's like a cheaper thing, then this is probably something up your alley. If you look, IBIT is up 5%. You got a whole host of these bad boys, right? IBIT's up 5%. BITO also up 5%. So we can roll in with some crypto names. Coin right now is at a key spot. Like, see, you got this range break that's happening here. Yes, my son. Is there something you'd like to say? Is there something you'd like to share? Is somebody got in their feelings? Does somebody want to be heard? So this is a key spot. 169. 169 and some change. As long as it holds over there, I think we're in a spot. Now, this is another one. You need a little bit of a consolidation or a flag. It typically does move pretty good. Its ATR has been compressed of recent due to the consolidation. It was significantly bigger, but I think we might be able to get a little range break on something like that. I think we might be able to get a little bit of a range break on something like that, right? So I think this is probably a little bit of an easier type of play. Ain't that the truth, insurance? Ain't that the truth? So add in coin. Guys, if coin is too expensive for you, as some people are, this is Connell. This is the ETF for it. That's like the 2X ETF. It's significantly cheaper. It still does volume. So I know a lot of people get the heebie-jeebies and the $100 stocks. Not that you should, but it's just the way things are sometimes. You can do this Connell. It'll move 2x anyway. It's easy enough. It does more than enough liquidity. It's got 500,000 shares. This is MSTX. MSTX is the 2x ETF. It's actually 1.75 on MSTR. So both of these you can add if you want something cheaper. MSTR is a range break that's setting up. If it breaks over the 50-day moving average, you may get it kind of coming back. Now, look, it's obviously in a huge long range, just like Bitcoin. So these are just trades. Do I think Bitcoin's coming back into, 70,000? Don't know, right? But we're not that far from it. We're talking like a couple big up days. And it'd be there anyways. So you can definitely roll with it. I'd like, MST or coin are just the two easiest ways to play. And if you don't want to do either of those, then do those smaller ETFs. You've got MSTX, and then you got Connell. Does it make sense? Good. So you want to kind of get a little bit something, a little bit something extra, then roll with it. These are all Bitcoin ETFs. Look at this yin. This is the China Bull ETF. It's also coming out of range, which is interesting. It's been kind of a dud for a little bit. So this is all la buenos noches, right? So when you're talking China, you got old Babas coming and starting to pick up some steam. I think maybe this JD, on a longer term basis, you got a really big base on this one. They've been doing all sorts of buybacks and things of that nature. You may be able to Maybe it'll get something like this. LI's got a range break. You can see right here, right? 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests. Now, what do you notice about these? These damn Chinas, they all move into gaps. So they're shit for day trades, but for on a swing trading type of basis, they look much better. I repeat, shit for day trades, but on a swing trading basis, they look much better. So let's roll in. Let's roll in. If you want to do some swing trades, you can roll with that. Yeah, Dell's like a little bit of a grinder. It's not giving any pull. I don't like when a stock just goes up like 8, 9 days in a row without any pull. You can keep day trading it, but you're always kind of leaving yourself open for that kind of, hey, it's tired, and then you're starting to hit the breakouts and it doesn't work kind of thing. That'll happen quite a bit. So I personally leave that alone. Yeah, I think we got better plays out there. Good. Oh, shit. Hold on here, brothers and sisters. Now, China's coming. So overall, the market is hot. The question becomes, right, can we chase the gaps, right? So we know that we have to hit a big giant pull at some point and then try to get long. The market will rug at some point and it'll come down. It'll suck in a lot of shorts. It'll actually look like a short. That's how it always happens on these big gap days. You'll have 2, 3 big candles where you're like, holy shit, we're fading off again. And then, whamp, they'll come back the other way. This often will happen somewhere at the 20 EMA, 50 EMA kind of zone where you've faded a good chunk of the gap. So just kind of keep that in the back of your heads, like it'll be coming. Now let's take a look at just the watch list I made for us. Obviously, most of this is a lot of this can be obsolete unless we get the pull. You has a flag pattern right here. You're already testing it. Now, once again, you've used up half the ATR. Hey, bud. That's a big yawn. Now you got 21 breakout. I'd prefer a pull on this because see the distance between price and 9 EMA? It's not that type of a setup right now. So what we really do want to do is have some level, right? Some level of pullback. It's just going to make things like a lot. It's going to make things a lot easier. Good. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Cores, this is a Bitcoin stock too. You got a big breakout. Look, out of all the Bitcoin miners, this is the one that's got the best chart. Right? Now, look, it's up a few days in a row. At some point today, it'll rug back and test some supports. All right? When it does that, that's when you want to try this. All right? You don't want to even chase breakouts on this because it's up too many days in a row. So, rule of thumb on chasing strength. The rule of thumb on chasing strength is that you can chase strength on day 1, day 2 of a move, possibly even day 3, especially if it's in the morning. Once you're on day 4, day 5 of a move, whether it's in the index or the stock, you can only hit on pullbacks because the rug could come any day. Now, those rules get elongated the hotter the market is, because you just get more up days in a row. So just kind of be mindful of that. Hey, DJ Mucus, that's a great name, by the way. DJ Mucus. They specialize in mucus. I like it. Hey, this ASTS is kind of coiled up here. It will probably have more to do with the sector than anything. Because look, so when you have this kind of coil, but it's when your MAs are pointing higher, like see right here, then it's a flag. When you have this kind of coil, but your trend zone's actually down, and you're under highs, it can really go either way. It can get rugged here on the bottom and break the bottom of the trend line, or it can break the top and then run into all these resistance points. And so it ends up being a little bit of a tweener where you kind of have it like it kind of looks like a long, but it could be a short. And so you want to stay away from trades like that personally. If there are other setups that are better, it doesn't mean you have to, right? There might be nothing else. But in this market currently, right, there's other setups that are rolling that are just easier. And so you want to really focus, like kind of when your bone zone's all green and you're moving up the moving averages and you're kind of riding the wave. When you start to flatten out like this and you're making lower high, see like this last pop, it got fade off so hard. So you have a little bit more, something, right? And this very well could be even turned into like a larger term topping pattern or something like that too. It's up 1,500% this year, I believe, ASTS, something like that. I mean, it's an incredible thing. And guys, when these stocks like range, like see, for example, NVIDIA, after it went on that huge run, right, from 80 to 140, it hasn't reached those highs again, even though, right, everybody, we want to invent kind of reasons that it could. It's just lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, right, on a significant amount of time. And so when you think about ASTS, is that what we're seeing now? Lower high, right, lower high. And you just kind of get this like big, long range set up. And that's the difference often between fresh trend and new trend. So remember this. Fresh trend is like your first and second moves and third moves. First, second, third, fourth moves, right? Now what happens is like, so this is when your trend is fresh. When your trend gets old, it's like you're trying to hit the fifth base or the sixth base, something along that end. That's when things get a little bit more, I think that's when things get a little bit more dicey. So just something, word to the wise. FSLR, big range break here. I want to hit any pullbacks into 245-ish. Any pull close to 245, I want to start looking to potentially get long on this on a short-term basis. That's a hot setup on a very powerful stock in an environment where if they're cutting rates aggressively, then you want to be in interest rates sensitive names, and solars are usually a good one of those, right? And so you're going to have a whole host of these. FSLR, Runner. Hey, Eunice Lemkert, give me 1 second and I will. Look at this run, right? You have a level here that's starting to set up at 22. It's up 4%, but you got easy levels to trade around. Keep a trigger at, you don't want to chase up the gap, right? But the 22 is going to be important. Let it congeal on an intraday basis before you pate. Nova, this one's a little bit more of a swing trade, I think, than a day trader. It just moves on gap. It doesn't have a huge intraday range. This 11 is kind of the trigger on this thing. And it's just grinding up. You may see this thing hit $20. Hey, Miss Karen, let's take a look. So look, I have a solar list here for you. So if you go, I'll just post this for you too. Hold on, let me copy and paste this for you. All right, so you've got Maxon, that's 10 cents. And so you don't want to blindly buy any of these like when they're sitting at 10 cents and just hold them because they'll be obviously zero soon enough. But for a day or two, you never know, right? If they can just rip. So a couple of these I think could be worth a watch. Look at this area. So this is $7. This is $7 here. You got a breakout about $7.50. Not bad. SATIG, this one's not as good. CSIQ's 15. ENPH has got a nice little something. I find this one to be the most difficult to trade, but you also have the biggest range break here, right? Going back multiple years, and it used to be, I would set an alert as you kind of come through and maybe even do it a little bit lower like here. If it ever does break this one, just keep an eye on it. Shoals. Miss Karen. This one's got a spot at 7, and this thing also used to be $50, right? So you got a little bit of a cheapy McGee right there. JKS. So it looks like out of those, the two cheaper ones that are clean are Arry, Arry, and then you got Shoals. Zillow. Yo, this is hot. I have some of this for a swing trade. I got a little bit over here, but I'm trying to add to this thing. I think this is, on a long-term basis, like I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing hit 100. Whenever the real estate market picks up or interest rates go down, people just hop on Zillow all the time. Like my dad, he's lived in the same fucking house, right, his whole life. Always on Zillow trying to see what his house worth. I'm like, Dad, you're going to die in this home, all right? You are going to die in this home on that couch with hands down your pants, watching Fox News, railing about God knows what. My dad's not even a citizen, right? It's still watching it all day. I'm like, why do you care about this stuff? He's like, I don't know what I was to do. But he's always on that Zillow when the real estate market gets hot. I'm like, Dad, you're so cheap. Like it's hard to get my dad to even spend $5 at Taco Bell. And but he'll be on that Zillow. He'll be on that Zillow checking to see what his house is worth. So you wanna get the Zillow for all the Indian dads out there, for all the uncles out there that are hoarders, right? So I'd say first pullback, guys. If you get anything into the zone, and so this is not for today, but I'm just gonna so you guys just remember, you get anything into this back zone, back and fill into this. I try to take a stab at that. I got SMTC 1 test, 2 test, 3 says this is the hottest semiconductor. Out of all of them, if you think semis are going to go. Now, this one I'm into. This one is a little bit tricky to trade, but it's got a level here, right? One test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests, 5 tests. What's the level here? Right? You got, let's say 35.50, right? 35.50, you got a level here that's building up. If you rip over this, keep an alert here, but you may just want to watch it because it's ready to pate, right? It's ready to do something. It's got it. Oh yeah, man. I'm into this one. So let's roll with it, right? Damn, that's hot. 35.50. I think that's probably, a focus. Especially if you can do it without chasing and there's some level of liquidity. Kava's got a breakout here, and you get your 90 EMA under. It's strictly a day trade at this point on this name, even though it looks like it could be a swing trade setup. I think when you get into this stage, right, where you've been already trending for so long, everybody's talking about it, but the easy money's over on it, at least on a trend basis. So leave that bad boy alone just for day trades. And it's fine for day trades. It's going to make a good day trade, the best day trade. It makes great deals. Uber, 75. 1 test, 2 tests, 3 tests, 4 tests. This mystical 75 has been being tested on and off for quite some time. All right. It's a big spot, guys. It's a big spot on a stock that's been coiled up for a long time, right? The bigger the base, the sweeter the juice. Something along that end, right? The bigger the base, the sweeter the juice on this bad boy. Woo! I'm into it. Oh, nice. Yeah, you're going to get paid on Apple big time. I mean, it's gapping up its whole ATR. Now, with this one, look, it's already had 3 updates into the resistance. It may need to pull back intraday before it's worth a gander, because you can already see like you're at resistance, but your 90 EMA is a couple bucks away. It may need to tighten up for a day or two. Reddit, you got to break out. I want to hit this one on the first pullback too. And look, if we need a short, then I think this APP is probably our short. This thing was 88 bucks and went to 130, so it's 48 bucks on 88. It's up basically 40-50% in a couple days, 7 days on some upgrades. Now look, it's an IPO breakout, but you're getting a little bit long in the tooth here. You're 13, 14 bucks from your 9 EMA. I think this one is worth a little bit of a hoot and nanny. Oh, you know what? I saw your watch list here. Cores, I think you're at the top of the Bollinger Band and you're a little bit extended. I think that one you can leave alone. CVNA, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row too. I'd leave that alone. You can't buy stocks on day 7. DLTR up 7 days in a row. No buenos. Up too many days in a row. Reddit, a little bit better, but it's probably going to need to pull back intraday before you can hit it. Same thing with TTD. A lot of these are too far from your EMAs, and so they can snap back real fast. So what you need to do is if you're going to play them even on an intraday basis, guys, anytime you get a stock that's outside its upper Bollinger Band and you have too much distance between price and 9 EMA, mark my words, if you buy the breakout on it, you chase any strength on it, it will just snap back, randomly. Now, of course, every blue moon, they start going and we remember that portion of it, and we forget that on a general basis, this holds true. So like TTD, this, right? Look, your area is probably a little bit more here. Look at this flat top breakout. And so now you're a little bit extended from that, right? And so you need to kind of let it pull back before you can do anything. All right, let's keep cruising on. IoT. Hey, this one, you're starting to take out this range right here. I think you can play this one. It's got a 6% daily ATR, so it's decent enough. Not too extended from the base, right? You're just starting to break right now. That's what I'm into that one. And see, like all these, like we just need we need pulls, right? We need pulls. So when we see the market today, guys, we have no choice, right? Like you have the QQQs, it's up 2.2%. That's all fine and dandy. That's great. If you're holding some swings overnight or something along that end, dude, great, right? We're in for a little bit of a hoot and nanny. But without that, we got to just wait, right? We got to just wait, and it'll pull. Anytime since I've been trading and I see these gaps and I'm like, like we're just so far, right? Like, we're so far. We're so this. Like they, we don't gotta be. Don't gotta be nothing, right? Like they'll pull at some point. They just always do. So don't even be like, don't feel like, like I gotta chase this market or anything like that. They're gonna pull, and when they do, it's gonna be beautiful. Comprendes? Good. I think we're going to have some fun today. Everything is up past the breakout point. Affirm looks good too, right? Affirm looks good too. It all looks good, right? Affirm looks good. I think you can put a UPST on the watch list. I want to be in some of these mid-cappy names too over the large cap names, right? You want to be in the mid-cap names over the large cap names. PayPal had a nice PR out with Amazon. Like this has got this has got good range too. Meta, breakout of all-time highs. Now look, it needs a pull, of course. Look at where the 9 EMA is. So like when you try to day trade something, you're $20 from your 9 EMA, you snap back any day. So you got to be careful. The U.S. of A. All right. Let's go do what we do. Let's go do what we do, which is the do. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Hell yeah, yeah. Hell yeah, yeah. All right, let's go see what we do. Guys, I'm making a Zoom link. I'll be in the Discord the rest of the day. Y'all more than welcome to join us. Let's go have some fun. Peace. Where is the budget? Bum, 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 bum.